The Moonlight Greatsword is such an awesome weapon, especially in Elden Ring, but it is quite hard to get. The quest chain to get to it is really complicated and it's easy to miss a few spots. I myself wandered for many hours just trying to find what to do, so that's why I'm making this guide, because most of the other guides are just like, hey, do this, maybe. So I'm gonna tell you every single thing you need to know about this quest. It might be a little bit long, but I'll try to make it as short as possible. So let's get to it right away. So personally, I would start this quest right after defeating Godric, just because if you wait until you defeat Rennala or Radahn, there are chances for Ranni to despawn and for the quest to be affected. I'm not sure in what measure exactly, but I do know it's easier if you just do it before defeating either of those. I will note that if you start the Radahn festival and then try to talk to Ranni, she will not be there from most account. And you will have to go all the way through Nokron to actually be able to talk to her again. I don't know if the quest is affected, and I think you can still get the Moonlight Greatsword. It's just a nice thing to note. The first step of the quest is actually going to be really early on, whenever you talk to Renna at the Church of Hele at night. She gives you the Bell of Summoning. Obviously, most people will have done this. If you haven't already, I suggest doing it. And this is going to start things. So after progressing through the game, beating the first Lord, Godric the Grafted, you are going to be given access to an area called Liurnia of the Lake. This is a big lake, as the name suggests it, and in the middle there is a Sorcerer's Academy. This is where the boss of this area is, Rennala, the Moon Queen. However, what you're going to want to do first, before trying to kill her or anything, is go to the northmost of the lake and head to the road of the manor waypoint. There you're gonna find a giant. This giant will tell you about the manor you're facing and the contraception put in place to stop people from getting inside. He warns you not to go there, and you're gonna see the big magic arrows. You're gonna want to dodge them as best as you can. Horseback riding is very recommended, and you're gonna get to the bonfire in no time. Now, the enemies in this area are extremely hard, extremely annoying, and very tough to kill. So I kind of just suggest picking either one at a time if you're a sorcerer build, or just straight up running through, because they are not going to be able to catch you that much if you just run and dodge. However, if you fight them, you will get overwhelmed because they are hiding everywhere, and honestly, they're just really terrifying. I hate those goddamn things with a passion. So just run through and you'll get to the bonfire if you follow the route I take. Is that a big one? That is a big one. Okay. Can I sneak past it? I don't think I can. Bro, no. After going up the stairs from that point, you'll find yourself on some weird kind of structural bridge. Now, there are some enemies that will just straight up spawn up there. I don't know if they just infinitely spawn. I don't know if you can kill them. What I know is that you can just run past most of them, and if you dodge correctly, you won't really have to sweat it, and you'll get to the next bonfire really fast. Now, there are some items over there, like smithing stone and whatnot. If you're annoyed by them, please just ignore it and continue to the area. You can always come back, you know? Okay, so there's a mage summoning these guys. And I guess just killing them is never gonna cut it, so if we don't find him, we might as well just never kill any of them. Man, this area is a bit choppy, not gonna lie. Not the best. Ow. My god, there's so many of them. Bro, there's no shot. The elevator will lead you to a bonfire, and right next to it is going to be a courtyard with some wolf. Now, I kind of got lost, so I'm just killing the wolf for a while. You can kill them or you can let them live. And then from that point onward, you're going to see a big staircase with a giant and a few sorcerers. These are pretty strong and it's not a good idea to fight them all at once. But you'll see luckily to your left there is a ladder and you can outright skip all of them, which will lead you to your boss fight. So I can fight him or I can also just sneak right behind him. That's great. But I know a lot of people suffer from playing on PC. I've seen a bunch of reviews just... So this boss fight can be a little tricky. Thankfully you can summon, and if you've watched my other videos and you have the meteorite staff and rock sling, it really makes a joke out of this boss and honestly any other boss you face on this run. So if you haven't, be sure to go check those out, and if you enjoy the guide, just subscribe to the channel, it really helps a lot. But yeah, this fight can be a little bit hardcore. You're gonna want to dodge most of the attacks the knight launches at you. However, it's gonna launch a few at the summons whenever it gets aggro on them, and that's going to be your moment to just peel it with a bunch of rock sling. The knight is gonna go down really fast, trust me. It can take a few tries, but thankfully there is a stake of America right next to it. Well, if I knew I could summon them, that would have been a lot easier, a lot faster. Oh my god. Of the three. So it's gonna be this one, right? Right after the first boss, there is going to be a second one. This is a big dragon, it's guarding Renna's rise. However, you can just run past it, although killing it is not that hard. See, this one leaves the area at 50% HP, which is not that much to get to, and dragons are really weak to the rock sling spell, especially if you can use it from your offhand, because there's some kind of bug where it has like nearly unlimited range. It's really weird. Anyways, use this from your offhand and you'll kill the dragon really fast, or you can just walk past it. I'm gonna show you how to kill it, and then you can go talk, finally, to Ranni the Snow Witch. Whenever you get into Ranni's Rise, or Ranni's Tower, just be sure it's the right one, right? It should be the one in the middle, and you can go up and talk to Ranni. Now, she's gonna give you a little bit of information about herself, a little bit of information about her quest, and she's gonna talk to you about her friends that are helping her taking the dark path she's talking about. Her friends are the giant you met earlier, Blade, a half-wolf boy, and another sorcerer. So be sure to talk to all of them and then go talk to Ranni again, because you won't be able to leave the tower unless you do this. So after all of these conversations are done, you can feel free to go kill Rennala, because that was a really important part to do before beating her. You won't bug anything if you beat her now. I did it, and I think it's fair game. The boss fight in itself is pretty fun, so enjoy it, and I'll see you guys afterward. There are a few things to do before beating Radahn. I feel that will make it easier, so I'm gonna show you guys those, and then we're gonna do Radahn. One of the main things you can do before fighting Radahn, however, is talking to Blade, the half-wolf in the underground. Now, to get to him, you need to go to the Siofra River well, which was on the map that I just showed you guys. It's going to take you deep underground. From there on out, you can just run, skip all of the enemies, get to the weird area where a bunch of ghostly Minotaur dude are going to start shooting arrows at you. You can skip most of them, and you are going to go talk to Blade. For those quests, you are going to be asked to go back to Celevis, which was the dude with the big hat. He is going to tell you to go talk to Selene, which is your teacher. She is going to tell you to go back to Blade, which is underground. So once you've done this little run around the roses, he is going to tell you that he is going to attend the festival for Radahn. Now, you can head to Redmane's castle. This is going to be a nice little way. You can explore Caelid for yourself. You're gonna find this little portal right here. That way, it will take you directly to the castle, and then you can just go ahead and try to beat Radahn. This is probably one of the harder fights in the game. However, I do have a boss fight video on him that I only get hit once and I dodge maybe 2 or 3 times. So if you're really concerned about beating Radahn, please go watch it. Honestly, with the meteorite staff and with the rock slaying sorcery, nothing is impossible. Boom! Easy. Radahn's Great Rune. Remembrance of the Star Scourge. With the meteorite crashing into the earth and creating a big crater, the city of Nokron is now at your disposal. Now, it is pretty hard to find, so I have like a little bit of clips of me trying to find it. I think it took me like 20 minutes to find the way inside. You can see there is one of the side of the crater that you can just start dropping from. They really like to play with verticality in this game, and it's definitely something to keep in mind. So as you go down, you will have to drop from a certain height a few times. Try not to die, and you will have a few enemies to kill. They are very easy until you run across this, the Nokron city. Now, the Nokron city is pretty easy. First of all, you will need to go beat the mimic boss, which is kind of annoying, but it's not the end of the world. After you defeat the mimic, you will follow a straight line because the city can be fairly hidden and there are a lot of enemies, so this is the easiest way I found to go straight to the city. Aha! Okay, this is now the city of Nokron itself is fairly easy, so I'm not gonna hold your hand the whole way through. There is not much trap, just be wary of the mimics and be wary of the slimes, but if you take them from a distance, nothing should really cause you any problem. Now, once you get to the second touch of grace, site of grace, whatever the name is, the bonfire, you will find a bunch of slimes that you can either defeat or run past, and under the giant finger reader kind of dude that's mummified at the top of the city on the throne, you will find the Finger Slayer blade. This is the treasure you should bring back to Ranni. So hey, guess what we're gonna do right now? We are going to teleport back to Ranni's Rise because she is back there.
The hidden treasure of Nokron.
It is.
Thanks. Finally all the pieces are in place. Soon must I begin.
Now at this point, Ranni is basically going to bid you farewell. Not that the quest is over, it is merely at the halfway point, but she doesn't want you to follow her anymore. What you're gonna need to do to keep going with that quest is go to the last of the 3 towers in the Three Sisters area, which is basically the last tower you haven't been to. Once you make your way there, you'll find at the top a portal. Now this portal is going to bring you underground next to the Nokstella city. This is one of the places you're going to need to go, so head there. Once you go through the portal, you will find that there is an item which is basically a miniature Ranni doll. Now this is the really important part, right? Because I missed this and it took me like 5 hours to realize. You need to talk to the doll, but you cannot talk to the doll at any side of Grace. It needs to be the one next to where you found it. So be sure to do this. You need to talk to her 3 times because after that, she's gonna start talking to you back. She's going to be silenced the first 2 or 3 times, I remember. And then she's gonna say a snarky remark about how you like talking to dolls. Once that's done, make your way forward. You're gonna find a big praying mantis bug boss that's basically throwing magic at you. I defeated him. He's really easy, so don't worry. He's more scarier than he is hard. And make your way through the tunnels that you see in front of you. On your way there are going to be a few bugs. Obviously, you can probably just kill them from range if you have a range option, or beat them from up close. They are fairly easy enemies, and you are going to want to follow the water and go through the big door. This is going to take you to Nokstella, the Eternal City. Now this area is quite hard. I'm gonna be honest, the waypoints are far in between. There are a lot of cool items, so I would suggest exploring a little bit. What I'm gonna show you is the fastest way through it, however, because it is quite hard. Now magic makes a joke of this area. I don't know how a melee character can really deal with the boulders we're gonna find, but if you just use the Comet spell, they are going to stop in their track, as you can see, and that's going to make this city a bunch easier.
Do you think I'm fast enough to just run past this shit? Sorcery do be OP though. But they don't drop a larval tier whenever they die the second time. It's only the first time. Okay, that is very helpful to know. This guy, they're gonna start dropping. I can drop this guy on them, but I'm gonna do that. And chain reaction is up. Oh no, never mind, because these guys are not. Okay, chain reaction is up. No trap here. We should be fine on this one. I hate the silver tier mimics though. I really hate them. And we're full of goop. That's so funny. Okay.
Now later on you will find 2 mimics and a priestess. I suggest taking them from afar because if you get too close they will transform and gain like an incredible amount of HP, and this is never good. Now after you're done quite a bit, you're almost at the next point of grace.
So we can just kill them before they ever become mimics. That's good. Now it would be incredibly weird. Because if we had 1 more memory slots, we could just... That is sketchy. If we have 1 more memory slots, we can keep the rock sling, which is very good for us.
You need to go down 2 elevators. You can just run through it if you're scared of fighting. I took the enemies out just to be safe, however.
Where the hell does that go? That goes down again? Oh no. I'm really scared right now. I'm super scared. That's cool, that's a grace.
At the bottom of this elevator, you are going to find Blade, or what is left of him. He's gone kind of crazy and he's gonna attack you on sight. Now, as I said before, Meteorite, Staff, and Rock Sling are really good. They break the AI for the Invasion NPC so well.
Beautifully fought. My thanks. It was more of a challenge than I...
Now, as you go back to the Grand Library of Lunaria of the Lake, you can open the chest that you couldn't before with this key. It is going to contain the Darkmoon ring. Now, this is the wedding ring you're gonna give Ranni before she gives you the Greatsword. So it is a pretty important item. With this in your hand, you can go back to where you defeated Blade, because this is time for the Miyazaki Swamp, the classic. And I'm gonna try to show you how to do it, but it is quite annoying no matter what. Now, I am going to show you in real time because the swamp is actually a really big problem. So what you're going to want to do is come back to where you defeated Blade. As you go down the elevator, I suggest equipping the gear that has the most immunity bonus for you, right? Immunity is going to be on the side completely. You don't really care about your roll, you don't really care about much, you just want big immunity bonus, right? Now, the swamp can be super annoying. What I would recommend is putting on your best gear, going to your flask, putting all of your flask into HP. You can see here I have 11, but I think with like around 7 or 8 you should be fine, right? And what you're going to want to do is, you can see these obelisks. Now, I've activated them, but you don't actually need them that much if you don't want to explore. Just go to the first one. Make sure your gear has the most immunity you can get. Step on this button. This is gonna bring this part up. And you can just rush through it and just heal through the Scarlet Rot. Now, is it going to be the best course of action? It is kind of risky, I'm gonna be honest with you, but it is doable, as I'll show you right now. Now you can see whenever your HP gets too low, you can just heal it back up. And you have a lot of running head start. Now, your goal is going to be this weird arc door that we see in the distance, and you can just run. Look at your HP at all time. There aren't really that many enemies in this area. There are the few basilisks back there, but it is pretty much all of it. You can see here, I am going to use a few flasks once again. You're gonna want to step on this side here, and if you ever get stuck and you cannot move forward, just make sure that you teleport away. You can teleport while under the Scarlet Rot, just be sure to not be in a fight. And you're gonna get to this bonfire right here, and once you rest, the Scarlet Rot will go away. Once you've unlocked this bonfire, you can just walk from there, drop from a few places, do some little parkour. You're gonna have to kill a few enemies, but with your range advantage, it shouldn't be that hard. Now, these enemies are really annoying and really gross. You don't want to fight them if you don't have to, and thankfully you can sneak past most of them into what would appear to be a coffin.
I think that's what I'm supposed to do, right? It's like a needle fight. That's so neat. Like, why would you ever do this? Oh no.
After the coffin ride, you will awaken in a void kind of area, no more rot, but you will find Astel, Naturalborn of the Void. This is the only real boss you need to kill to get the Moonlight Greatsword, the Darkmoon Greatsword. He is pretty hard, he has a really big range advantage on you, but if you learn a few of his patterns, you should be able to kill him. Here you see, it's not about that much practice or stats, but I will beat him without ever taking a single hit of damage, because he does kill me in one hit if he hits me, which is pretty hard. But this boss is not that hard, especially if you have the Rock Sling spell, as we talked about earlier. It kind of trivializes the whole game. Now you kind of want to be careful about his lasers and about his big attacks. He's gonna teleport around a little bit, which is not that big of a deal. You're just gonna be careful for the halfway point. When you get him to half HP, he is going to start bringing down meteors from the sky. This is going to be the roughest part of the boss fight. You kind of just want to dodge to the side. He's going to do this only once from my knowledge, and it's pretty much all you need to do. For melee, if you are a melee focused character, you kind of want to be careful about his AoE underneath him. He's not going to be able to hit you very much with his physical attack, however. so you can just go ham on him from underneath. Just be careful not to get hit. This is the part with the meteors I'm talking about. Just dodge like crazy. They're not all gonna hit you, so that's a good sign, right? They're not all going for you, but it's not that bad. With your range advantage, however, you can just pellet him with big rocks.
Is this the run?
It's gonna go bonk, 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 and just that way you are going to be able to take him down fairly easily.
Remembrance of the natural... I have to go up? Okay.
Now that was the last real fight you have to do to basically get to Ranni at this point. Take the lift behind him. It's gonna bring you up to a new area of Liurnia of the Lake that you've never seen before. Be careful, there is a dragon around. You, however, don't need to kill him. You can just bypass the dragon. Go straight into the church. From the church, there is going to be a hole in the ground that you can enter, and Ranni is going to be there. Congratulations! You just got yourself the Moonlight Greatsword. It is quite the weapon.
Let's go.
Enjoy. She has a bunch of arms. She killed her 2 fingers? Wow. Okay. Nope, she disappears. Nope.
So it was thee who would become my lord. Perhaps I needn't have warned thee. I am pleased, however. Thou art a fitting choice. I go now to the night sky. It is there I shall find mine order. I bid thee travel the path of the Lord, and once all is done, we shall see each other once more.
Goodbye. I've been waiting. I hope this guide was useful. I made it because I found many guides that didn't really show me the exact place of what I wanted, and I felt like this more complete version was really important to have, even if it's really long. If you stick till the very end, or if you've watched this many times just to make sure you are doing everything right, please let me know in the comment, like the video, and subscribe. You have no idea how much it helps. Now, this quest is actually going together with an ending, which is the only considered good ending to the game. I might make a guide if there's any other step, but I think this quest is the only real step you need to make it this far. I hope you enjoy your new shiny weapon, and I'll see you guys next time for some more Elden Ring.